Welcome back. This is still Showtime on Trust TV, and this is our sit-down interview segment. My name is still Chimelli. Today we're sitting with a man who has turned play into purpose and culture into strategy. He's a game designer, entrepreneur, and community builder, redefining what African-made games look like and where they belong globally. He's the founder of NIBCARD Games, creator of over 50 original tabletop games, convener of Africa's biggest board games convention, and the mind behind a cafe where ideas, people, and play collide. He isn't just making games, he's building an ecosystem of fun and relaxation. Please welcome in the studio Kenechukwu Ogbuagu, popularly known as KC.
Thank you so much.
Welcome. Oh, I love it.
Thank you for having me on ShowTime.
You're welcome. Thank you for being here.
It's a pleasure.
I have a lot of questions, and I would have even loved us to play some games as well, but unfortunately, we do not have enough time for that.
That's fine.
But we're going to take as much questions as we can. Now, before we go deep into deeper aspects of the questions, let's start from the beginning. From the foundation.
Okay.
When all of this started. So when did this start? What happened? What prompted you to start designing games? When did you even know you could design games?
Actually, no, I could design games in 2015, but that's not when it started. I mean, thinking back, it's obviously from childhood.
Yeah.
I mean, I usually give the example of when I played Ayo in Cho. We call it Cho, but the global name is called Mankala, where we used to dig holes in the ground and use stones, or there's this seed from this particular plant, I can't remember, and we used to play, and I enjoyed it. Those were some of the best times growing up. And I also remember playing a lot of words and Ludo, and in secondary school I also used to do puzzles and crosswords. So I think all of these were building up to something I didn't know existed inside me. But it was until 2013, during the ASU strike, I designed a game for a friend. He's a Cameroonian medical student at the time. Now he's a doctor, and he was bored. I wasn't bored. I love activities. I would volunteer. We tried swimming. He didn't like it. We even built, this weight with cement, because we had 6 months. We were not doing anything, so we tried a lot of stuff. But I think within that 6 months, I told him, I'm going to design a long, boring game for you, board game, and you're going to play it because medical students, they love books, volume books, and they read. I think that was where it all started. Sometimes I tell people, in a nutshell, in a word, it was boredom that started all of these stuff. They're like, I know it's a cliche, because then people would create things because they could, and there was nothing much to do. But along the line, a lot more things and a lot more intentionality has come in to why I do what I do. Exactly.
But then it's not cliche to say it's boredom, because if you look at it, I think maybe the earliest set of people who created games, or who started setting things, or who reinvented games, did that because they wanted something to do. They wanted an activity. They wanted to be a part of something. So definitely boredom will create a lot of things.
Exactly.
And I mean, maybe boredom will make me understand that I can play drums.
Exactly.
And then I found out to me that I actually have this, but boredom is the factor. So it's not cliche, honestly, but that's wonderful. So now we're going to talk about the game design. Is not really an open career path in Nigeria. It's not something that a lot of people go into. And when I'm talking about game design, I'm talking about tabletop games. Because right now there's a lot of people going into design games online. The design now is everywhere, software games and all of that. So, but when you started, obviously people will be like, game design? How did you move past that skeptical moment? What was it that almost discouraged you, and how did you move away from it?
I would start with saying that games have existed for thousands of years. So it's something that it's there because we are social beings. We want to interact with people, right? Either verbal or storytelling. But at some point, I'm sure that some people just had the idea, no, let's just do something that I have to win or you have to lose. And then we started playing games. So I needed to make that clear. Over the years, obviously, there are people that are like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
There's always that person. So, they're everywhere.
So I think from when I did the first one, 2013 to about 2015, even I joined those people to say, what am I doing? You understand? Right? I'm like, but because I had my own life goal I wanted to do. I don't understand this. I just did it for. So when I did the first one for Leslie, that's the Cameroonian friend, I designed another one. A more calm, easier one. So then it was until 2015 that I understood that this is important, and it was because of a cultural exchange program that I volunteered for, where there were young people from like UK and Kenya, and those UK people brought games, and I now brought out my cardboard. I always carried it around from Calabar to Abuja to Lagos. So I brought it. I did one though. Is it a lie? I said, see it now. And it was pencil, and we used buttons to move, and dice from Ludo. So it was then that it made sense. But before then, I think it was just, this is really something I did for a friend. So there are no motive or no economical motive or impacting motive, but just for a friend. But I think from that 2015, I became more intentional. I started researching, I started seeing that this industry is huge. It's big, it's worth billions of dollars in different countries, right? So I started thinking and then becoming conscious and learning how to be better, because I would not recommend you to go and play my first game. I would
love to actually play it. As you're saying it, I know that the crumpled cardboard is no longer available. But honestly, I would love to see the first game.
It's not, I mean, but
the prototype is still there?
No, we actually made it into a proper game.
Okay.
Only that it's way out of stock. Like when I say way out of stock, if I'm bringing it out, it's probably like that kind of thing. Okay, I'm going to bring only one copy out. That kind of, so yes, it's still there.
Okay, but I would love to play it.
I called it Ukubwa. Yes, it means greatness in Swahili. So I had just traveled to Kenya for a cross-cultural program, and then I was loving the Swahili language. And then I made mistake spelling it. I used my Igbo accent to spell it.
Because when you called it, it sounded Igbo.
Yes.
But then at the same time, I'm like, that does not sound like something I know.
It's Ukubwa. Then I now say Ukubwa. Yes. So we laughed about it. I said, let's be like
that. Okay. All right. So now walk us through your creative process. Not then, now. Your creative process now. Where does the development start? Is it first pen and paper, pencil, cardboard, the board, notice board, whiteboard, chalkboard?
Yes.
Or is it like what's your creative process like?
My creative process, I'm always thinking about games. Even right now, right? It's not an intentional act. It's just there because there's always a eureka moment where, so I could be working on a lot of games. If I should put a number, so up to 10, 15. And those are mechanics, right? Those are the skeleton. Just like the human body, you have the skeleton, and then you now have the flesh. The flesh in the game design, we call it the theme.
Okay.
So, for instance, now Ludo is an abstract theme game.
Okay.
Right, because there are no. But that same Ludo, I could wear it a new theme. I want to give this concept before I answer your question. That same Ludo that is abstract, I could give it a new theme by saying that that those spaces, I could give it a medieval theme by putting stones on those spaces, and then the ground I could give it like this castle. Maybe that place you come in is to be a castle. Do you get? So and I could also give it a forest theme. So that is it. But the mechanics is the skeleton, right?
Okay.
So I could be thinking of different mechanics. I'm thinking of dice rolling, which is what most of us know. Because you roll dice, the dice detect.
Yeah.
I could be thinking about card drafting, which is what or uno, where if you play a card, the card tells you what you do. So if it's 2, or Monopoly, the chest card, the card tells you what to do. I'm thinking of that card drafting. I might be thinking of area control or area movement. That is now chess, where you're trying to control area or drought. So I'm thinking of, and like I know that there are from there's a website I go, there are over 200 different mechanics. There's bluffing mechanics, there's pass your turn, there is speed. So I'm thinking of all of these. Then I'm also thinking of my environment. So okay, do I want to design a game about mosquito? Because we know of everybody in Nigeria relates to mosquito.
Mosquito, yeah.
Do I want to design a game about traffic? Do I want to design a game about cattle? Things that I can see, right? Then I'm also now thinking of what is the cost? Because now that is peculiar to me because I also manufacture.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, what are the costs? Can this be mass produced? Can people be able to afford? So there's so many things I'm thinking at the same time, and which is priority for me. So, and they don't, sometimes it's a dead end for some projects, right? But sometimes I'll just be working and discussing with someone and then I'll see something, I say, wow!
Yeah.
Now, at that time, that's where the process starts.
Okay.
Immediately, if I'm with my phone, I go to notes immediately, I'm typing. Before I will just send a WhatsApp to my co-founder, I'll just type in, so I always know that this idea is already written now. But if I'm at home, there are so many papers everywhere. If you go to my Santom, I come and read my Santom stuff. So nobody enters. I'm writing everywhere. So that
drafts.
Yes, different drafts. Again, at that process, it could also still be a dead end.
Yeah.
Right? So at that time, I've written it. The next is now becoming intentional on one idea. So maybe I started off with a dice rolling mechanics. Now I'm thinking, can I add another mechanics to it? So a good example, Monopoly again, you roll dice, you move to control areas, and you also do purchasing.
Cards,
exactly, and even the card draft. So I'm now adding, should I add more? That I'm playing it in my head. Sometimes I'm playing KC1, KC2, KC3, depending on the number of players. And then sometimes KC3 will cheat, or KC4 will make a joke. And I'm playing with all this personality, and I love this. That is, for me, that is the best time.
Yes.
Right? Not the business part. And then I'm playing it in my head, just me, and I'm loving it. Where will this person try to take advantage of a loophole in the game? Then, if I'm convinced, then I start cutting papers and sketching. Now that is now the physical prototype. Over the years, because of the communities we've built at the cafe, it's now easier to have people play test.
Yes.
And those people also have knowledge of games because they've played, like we have over 1,000 of games from around the world. So they've played more games. So I could speak the language. But prior, I would go to the street. Yes, so I'll carry my game, go to the street. I'll see if it's a game for children. I'll see children, or I will go to another street. If it's an adult game, I will look for adults. I will beg them. Come on, let's play this game. Yes. I'll get families and friends. Anybody around. And even if, in fact, I will even probably start with family and friends, then I'll still go out. Now, when they are playing this, I'm making changes.
Yeah.
That process, and especially for people that are listening that are designers, that process, you have to guide your mind. There was one time someone said this game is rubbish. That game never came out again. I was broken. There was another time where they were playing, and then some people enjoyed the game. Other people said, like, this is not. I walked out. I left the prototype again. Yes, but over years I've started building my. Yes, to take these feedbacks. Right? So when they are playing it, I'm making changes. I'll take back depending on the changes. So at that time, once the prototype is playable, I now move into the design where colors, illustrations, and those ones I could do a little bit, but depending on the intensity, I could outsource it to people, and from there the game is done. So we're now looking for how to write the rule book, because writing a rule book is a skill on its own. If you write it the way you speak the English and the way you think you understood it, if you're not there, will someone be able to read it and play it? So we start doing that. I talk to some, again, because I have a community, people that love to read books. I say, okay, come and read this and give me feedback, and then we'll just manufacture.
Okay. Okay. You know, that conversation, that note you made about the rule book is really, really important, because I have seen, I can't even remember the game right now, but I have seen a game where we saw the rules and we're like, what is going on here? Like, you won't even understand what the rules are saying. Now, if I don't understand the rules, how am I supposed to play the game? So you have to like play the game how you can. So in that game now, I have a method that I I played it a different way. The person that gave me the game was playing it a different way because we didn't understand what the rules were.
You just designed a new game.
Do you see? I need to go and find that game, but I did that thing because I was like, we don't understand what's going on, so let's just play it however we can. So yeah, that is very true. So now let's talk about distribution, because you've given us the whole process breakdown from top to bottom, but we've not talked about distribution. We've not talked about sales, which is sort of the most important part. If you're doing it commercially, if you're doing it just for fun, then of course. But if you're doing it commercially, that is like one of the most important parts, and that's the part you should not play with. So how do you distribute tabletop games? Because we know for digital games it is sort of easier. We know the channels, promos, all of that. Now, how do you distribute your physical games? How easy is it to distribute? How easy is it to sell? Is it really commercial? Just let us hear.
It's not easy. Let's start. So any English I'm going to speak.
Just like it's not easy.
It's not easy at all. So, but we have sort of built our own. I mean, we want it to be bigger. We want a lot of people want games. First thing you should know is that because it's a product, it's capital intensive, right? That is the key. It's capital intensive, and because it's also an emerging industry in Nigeria, there are also the challenges that comes with that, and so. The reality of it is very challenging. For us, we've tried to build an identity, and we'll keep improving on that brand, where people know, okay, NIBCARD games have games. But we have a website, obviously. People can order, and they also have a physical store, the cafe. People can walk in to order. But in terms of having distributors in different locations, we've not gotten to that. I've had conversations with people because I want that, and I'm talking to people and they say, "Oh, I need to give them 5,000 copies of one game, and I have over 50. Me, give you 5,000 copies."
How much is that going to take away from you?
Exactly. So it's super capital intensive, and this is where value chain comes in terms of an industry, right? For me, all of these things I did them because no other person were doing it, and I made research, and I also stand on that word because we now do it for people. So we make games for people. Even today, I've had conversation with 2 different people that want to make games. Right, so when I designed games, and in 2015, and I was in Lagos, I just wanted a place where I have an idea, make the game, and I trekked Lagos. There's a difference between where you're going to. You know where you're going to.
You're walking, or you use transport. But if
you don't know where you're going to, you say, "Stop me here."
You go walk out.
Exactly. So I was like, "Stop me here." I'll be entering offices. I see it. Press written up, and they have no idea what I'm talking about, or I enter. So I have to go and learn graphics. I now do the graphics. Where to manufacture? Nobody. The carton they know is that food carton. No other person knows where to even get all of these other components. So I started doing it for myself. Right? Same with the convention. Where do I promote this? Same with cafe. Where do I promote this? There are no other places. So I had to start doing it. And when we started doing it, then the ripple effect started influencing other people to start. Right? So same with distributor. It's hard. I wanted to go in and say, no, I can't do this. So it has to be people coming in. And if you think back to the early days of Afrobeat, there were distributors that came in, or even the Nollywood. You hear Obama music that year at the advert, Alaba International Market. You keep hearing all this distributed by all of. We need that in the industry. It's already a viable industry because it works in countries where there are internet services, there are good life. There are things that could take people away, supposedly take people away from physical tabletop games, right? But those countries also still thrive in that. So it's a business that thrives well, only that the awareness is kind of low. Now, when we talk about games in Nigeria, in Africa, and I'm saying this authority, what people are thinking about is 5, 6, 7 games. And those 5, 6, 7 games have been stereotyped, where Ludo is for idle woman, draft is for idle men.
So people in the bar. It's not just idle men. It's people in the bar. Because I know that even as a lady, if you start playing drum, they're like,
Yes.
Why are you behaving like somebody in the bar? It's Mr. A lot. Yeah.
And if you say you're playing dice, your parents will even think you're gambling.
Yeah, exactly.
And chess is for brilliant.
It's for there's a lot of stereotypes.
Exactly. So that is that awareness that people have to know that, and none of these games originated from Africa. Even Ludo.
Even draft. None of them originated from Africa. Even obviously chess. None of them. Right? None of these games. Monopoly is Elizabeth. Mary, and then Ludo is an Indian game. Yes, none. Right? Maybe the ancient Egypt, maybe Sinet, but I don't even know what Sinet will look like. It's all these wooden, those very abstract games that they even used to check. What is it? The sky, all of those things, all those kind of calculation, exactly. Now, it's about the awareness where people say, okay, this industry, there's something there. And like I said, games have existed beyond different industrial ages that have happened in human history, right? So when people know this, we hope that people will start coming to fill up those value chains, especially distribution. So right now, our distribution is limited to our website or in-house shop where you could just buy the game or referral. So that's how we do it right now. And I'm hoping that it's like I tell people, this is an investment. It's not I want to make it today, right? And then I will make a lot of money from it today. Yes.
I'm hoping that they will start seeing this trend happening around Nigeria, across Africa, and then begin to now start having the conversation. Now, how do we come in? Because for me, now, I chop, maybe as long as I want people to have these games. Because they need these games. And I mean, as a creator, I'm happy when I see people having fun playing.
Yes, exactly. Okay, that is so amazing. See, I had another question, like it was just coming out, right? But we do have the time for it.
Oh, sorry. I'm very excited about these things. I
love having this conversation. It's so eye-opening, right? The first time that we had the conversations about the games, I was like blown. And now again, it is really, really eye-opening for me to have these conversations, because I don't even know how much this industry is worth and the work that goes on into this industry. Because you see games and you think, they're just games, they're just something that you can just go to the back of your house and then you do one or two things, so we don't understand how deep this industry runs. And I am so glad that I've had this conversation with you. I would want us to have this conversation again, hopefully, because all these questions will not answer themselves. You need to give us your insights. But thank you so much, Casey, for coming through. It has been such a wonderful conversation.
Thank you. My pleasure. Thank you for the invite too.
Thank you so much.
And I like your scarf.
Oh, thank you. You guys heard that? All right. Thank you very much for tuning in. This has been Showtime on Trust TV. Join us again, same time, same station next week for another interesting episode. My name is still Chimelli.